Okay, so on this problem, we're supposed to graph this inequality. So let me come over here and do it. So minus 3x minus 2y greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so you know how we graph, right? Step one, get y alone. Because like here's the wall of separation. And y saying, I want to be alone, right? I want to be alone all by myself on this side of the wall. That's what we always do. So we got to get y alone. So first step, add 3x. Got to do the opposite, right? Add 3x to both sides. Boom, boom. We good to there? So I added 3x to both sides. Like that. Okay, now what's the next step to get y alone? I've got to divide by -2. Now, I don't know if you remember, it's been a while. Let me write it for you. Whenever we divide, well, really, whenever we multiply or divide by a negative, we must flip the symbol. You must flip the symbol whenever you multiply or divide by a negative. That's really important because right here, look what I did. I divided by a negative number, didn't I? See how I'm dividing by a negative number right there? All the way through, I'm dividing by a negative number. So that means I got to cross this out and turn it the other way. Super, super important because that's going to change which way the shading goes. Very important. So that becomes y alone now less than or equal to. And this is going to be minus 3/2 x minus 3. Now let me help with some of that too. That could have been confusing too. Do you see what happened here? This minus sign that was on the bottom of the fraction, I put it to the top. It doesn't really matter. One minus sign in a fraction doesn't matter top, bottom, front. It's all the same thing. If there's one negative, the fraction's just negative. It's just going to be easier for us. It's just for our convenience that I put it on the top. So I would encourage you, suggest that you put the minus sign on the top, just makes it easier. Same thing over here. Here I had positive divided by negative. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Positive divided by negative is negative. Like that, right? Okay. Now let's graph. How do we graph? So we got y alone. So now you know what to do, right? The number out here is the vertical y intercept, right? So that's right down here at -3. -3. Okay. And now that's at -3. And then where do we go from there? And then from there, we're going to have to do rise over run. So this is rise and this is run. So I'm going to have to go, remember, because the slope, down 3, 1, 2, 3, kind of goes off the graph. Down 3, rise, -3, and then over 1, 2, over 2 is the run, right? I'll change the color. Right here. Now that's off the graph, isn't it? I can't really locate that point. Well, you know what you could do is you could do the same thing backwards. In other words, I could go like this. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I could go up 3, back 2. That's got to be another point right there, doesn't it? See how that's to say, well, you know, probably better if I did it like this. Let me show you. Down 3, over 2. See how that's the exact same thing? Remember, the line just keeps moving in the same way. Down 3, over 2. Down 3, over 2. Down 3, over 2. Right? You could even go, see back here, right? Down 3, over 2. It just keeps doing that forever. So if one direction goes off the graph, then just go the other direction. Just make sure you're doing the same movement because that's the rise over run between any 2 points on the graph. So now we connect those dots. Let's do that. So, and we'll get a line. Now, it's like that. There's our line. And now we have to determine which side to shade. Well, what is it? Oh, and is it a solid line or dotted line? Remember, if you have y less than or equal to, you're going to shade below the line because it's less. Y is on the narrow side, and solid line because you have the equals bar. Remember, when you have the equals bar, the equals is the stuff right on the line. Remember, the stuff of, there's three regions. There's y greater than, there's right greater, above, the stuff above the line. Above the line is the greater. Down here is y less. This is below the line, less. And then the stuff right on the line is y equals on the line, right? So what are they saying we have? Well, we have less than or equal, less than or equal. So we want the lesser stuff. We want the stuff here. We want all this stuff shaded, right? We want the lesser stuff shaded, and we want the stuff right on the line because we want the less or the equals, the stuff below and the stuff right on the line, which means we want a solid line, not a dotted line. That's why it's a solid line. So think of it as three regions. Above the line is greater, below the line is less, right on the line is equal. So when we have our answer as y is less than or equal, we want two regions. We want the lesser stuff shaded, and we want the equal stuff, which is right on the line, solid. If you just had y less, and instead you would shade below, right? Because the less is below, and you would have a dotted line because you would not want the equals. When you dot a line, you're saying it's not included. It's not really there. It's just serving as a border to the shading, but the edge is not included. That's what dotting means. And so if we had y less, that would be telling us to only include the lesser stuff below the line, but not the line itself, not the equal stuff, not the stuff right on the line. So again, the stuff below is less, stuff above is greater, the stuff right on the line is equal. If you had y greater, then you would shade above because greater is above, and again have a dotted line because you don't want the equals. If you had y greater than or equal, that would be shade above because greater is above, and solid line because you have the equals in that case. So that's how we determine it. And then let me show you how to do it on the actual thing. Here, let me share my screen with you. Here, let me do that. There we go. And so
I have a question.
Real quick, let me just finish sharing on this one. So here we have, so let me show how this one would actually work. If I solved this one, I'll just have to do it in real quick. Let's add the 2x over by the 3. Let me see, add the 2x over, divide by the 3, 2/3 minus 2. So, okay, yeah, so I would choose, you see the two different tools here? I would choose which of these tools, either the solid line tool or the dotted line tool. You see that? Which one do we have on this one? Well, it's less than or equal. See how we have the solid, we want the equals, we want the less than or equal on my question. So I want the equals, I want the solid line. So I'm going to click on the solid line tool. I just clicked on this one, the solid line tool. And then I'm going to put 2 dots. Now, I'm just solving this one in my head, but that's what it would be, that point. And let's see, 2 by 3, it would be, what would it be? 2/3. So up 2 over 3 would be right there. Boom. And then one more click, I decide which side to shade. What's it going to be? It's going to be less. It's going to be here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you see how I did that? You choose either the solid line tool or the dotted line tool. And then you click the 2 dots that'll make the line. And then you click a third time, either above the line or below the line, to determine the shading. Let me try one more. Maybe I'll try some more here. Are these all? Yeah, these are all going to be solid line ones on this one anyway. Looks like I just keep clicking through them. They're all solid lines. All right, let me do that one real quick. So if I did that one, well, again, it's going to be the same thing. It's just a solid line. And so that's how you would do that. There we go. Good. Okay. Questions I can answer on this one now.
So for mine, it was greater than with the dotted line, but in the answer, it actually shows a solid line. Can I show, let me see.